Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tardis Zone. And we are here for the Tardis Zone talks. And as you can tell from the headline of the stream, Doctor Who is coming to Fortnite now. Did hear this last year, and there's been rumors circulating, especially if you're in the Fortnite community, that Doctor Who has been on their list. As you know, now Fortnite has become this huge thing where now you can play as Marvel characters, DC characters. So I've even got my own Rick out of Rick and Morty, and they're trying to get all of these different genres and different popular characters, and they're trying to throw them into Fortnite. Now, Doctor Who has been rumored to be next in line, but it looks like, and this story just dropped 4 hours ago, so it's quite relatively new. So what we'll do is we'll put I've got the article here. It's in the link description, by the way, guys. If you want to check it out yourself, we have to be clear just to let everybody know that it is in the link description. So let's see what they have to say. So Doctor Who crossover is on the way to Fortnite. What is it about Doctor Who that keeps it from working as a video game? On paper, the sci-fi drama should be perfect. A time machine with infinite alien worlds and eras to explore, monsters on every corner, and a threat of universal destruction always looming. Now, there is a lot of Doctor Who kind of games out there. There's mobile games, and there's other games that they have created. But for me personally, they've never made a decent Doctor Who game. I mean, you could have a Doctor Who game where you have to travel through time and space and complete missions to save, so or something like that. But they never seem to get it right with Doctor Who. Now, I'm not saying that Fortnite will, but Fortnite, if they do introduce Doctor Who, right, it will be a good story. Now, I deleted this game. I still have the game, but I deleted it because I was getting to you can get into a bit of a cycle with it. Gets very addictive. Now, I will say this though: when Doctor Who comes to it, I'll see what happens with it. But you think we'd have a banger of a game on our hands, but the universe simply hasn't provided. There have been a few attempts at the Doctor Who adventure games in the past that never really landed, and rumours of a Doctor Who Lego game that could be a delightful adventure, but nothing is concrete, and that is true. They just haven't landed the games. It's not for the one to try and like. It's not you like. You know what I mean? You have to praise them for trying, but they just haven't succeeded. So here it is. It's an exclusive Fortnite Doctor Who. A collaboration between Fortnite and Doctor Who is currently in the works. However, it seems like it's early on in development and probably won't be released for a few months. Now, I have a theory on that. My theory is it's going to be in line when RTD officially takes the reins, and either it'll be released around the same time of the 60th, or it'll be ready in time for Shooty's season. But I reckon whenever it's done, it's going to be in conjunction with the RTD era. Even though it has that logo from the current era, I would ignore that. So it's months in development. It'll be months away, a couple of months away. It doesn't take that long to come up with a story anyway for Fortnite. They do it all the time, so don't worry about it. And if you're a gamer like I am, this is why I'm doing this video. Um, you know, because I'm a gamer, and Doctor Who is coming to something that's, look, Fortnite, as I said, it's not a bad game. It just, you get into this kind of cycle with it where it gets very addictive, and you want to play nothing else. And the thing about it is, I do like playing other games, but when you play this, you just put your full attention into this to try get the different things that you need to get. Now, if Doctor Who, when it does come to it, and if there's a big epic story to go with it, I still have the game there. I'm gonna re-upload it, and we're gonna try get the Doctor or whatever doctors are available. So suppose it makes sense that the brand would say Alonzi to the game that is already working nicely. Well, there goes the last of our V-Bucks. According to notable Fortnite leaker, there is a new collaboration between Fortnite and Doctor Who on the way. Now, obviously, for people out there that don't play this game, let me see. There is a report crossover still in early development, meaning that's still a good few months away. But to know it's coming and all, it's certainly a treat. It's likely that this collaboration is to celebrate the power of the Doctor, the final episode for Jodie Whittaker's Doctor before Ncuti Gatwa arrives to take over the role. Well, that makes no sense because the last episode drops in 2 weeks' time. So why would you do a collab for her last episode when she's already gone? That's a bit disrespectful to Ncuti. But they have no details on the collaboration, so we have to take this with a pinch of salt. The typical skins, you'll have Daleks and Cybermen. That would be deadly if you're running around as Cybermen, because that would make sense. But running around as the Doctor, we are likely to get a skin for Jodie Whittaker's 13th Doctor, and given his appearance in the special David Tennant, well, I'll definitely lead and take David Tennant. And obviously, Jodie's one will be there, whether she's a default skin or you have to work to get her. But if I have to work to get David Tennant's skin, I'll definitely do that. Remembering we had a disappointing Doctor Who crossover in creative mode. Yeah, yeah, I wouldn't play it myself. I went in and looked at a few videos, and it was absolutely disgraceful. Anyway, I would just like to say to the company behind Fortnite, though, um, not a lot of people are fans of the current era. I think it would be an absolute mistake if you're going to introduce Doctor Who to Fortnite that you focus on the Jodie Whittaker era. By all means, have our skin in there for people that want to actually get our skin. Absolutely. But why not write a brand new story? You've got a good team of writers at Fortnite. Why not collab with the Doctor Who writers and come up with a brand new story, brand new adventure for Fortnite? That's where I'm on that one anyway. Let's see who's in the chat. Let's see. We've got Scottish Davros and friends wrestle with pop culture. We've got someone in the chat. Actually, I should actually because I remember you guys telling me that sometimes we get membership chats and they don't show up. So I'm just gonna go in now and make sure that we're all ready to go. Right, there we go. Just to make sure. Right. So we've got as I said, says Facebook user there. If you want to tell me who you are, please put your name in the chat. We've got PD Rich in the chat as well. JWC Reviews is also in the chat. We got Lindsay in the chat as well. We got Kieran in the chat. Welcome. And I think that's everybody there. Yes, I think I've mentioned everybody there. Well, welcome everybody. Yeah, let me know. Obviously, some of you here probably have never played Fortnite. Probably even wondering why I'm even doing this video on it. Well, I do play Fortnite, and I have played Fortnite, and there's a few Fortnite streams on the Irish Geek where I play as Rick. So yeah, I'm a bit of a fan of this, but it's one of those games that you get sucked in by. So, when that tends to happen, what I tend to do is just get rid of it and put it back in me downloads and play something else because it's highly addictive. But if Doctor Who comes to it and they provide all the Doctor Who skins, as JWC Review said there, oh my God, I'll go for a big time. I'll play this game like I've never played again. Listen, man, I did it to get me Spider-Man, right? That was 2 seasons ago, I think, now at this stage, to do it. And I did. Every night I was on and I got me skins. If they provide all those Doctor Who skins, we get little Daleks and gliders and all of that. Oh, man. I'll just play as Doctor Who characters for the rest of for all time. I'm not discussing the trailer. I've made this clear. BBC didn't bother their arse promoting, so I'm not going to say anything on the trailer because, out of principle. If they don't give a crap about it, why should we? So I'm not giving any comment on the trailer. If you want to find out what I said about the trailer, I'll put a little brief comment up on Twitter, and that's it. That's it, man. I'm not commenting on it. Don't really give a crap. I'll watch the episode. I'm doing a watch along. So we'll and it's been suggested that I do a watch along panel for that one. So that's been spoken about. And then we'll have the live panel then afterwards. And then we'll have the membership stream where I'll be talking about the episode, because I won't be giving me opinions on the panel. It'll be to give everybody a fair chance on the panel to have their say. So yeah, if you wanna check out reactions from other people, as PD said there's other channels there that have covered it. I've absolutely zero interest. I just want this nightmare to be over. I have no expectations whatsoever. I'm going in with zero expectations. So let's see if he can actually surprise me. But by looking at the trailer and what I saw, all I'll just say is I'm not really holding out any hope. So, so that's my opinion on it. And that's all I'm going to say on it now. Maybe it's the start of RTD's extended universe. Current Doctor Who is not exactly a draw. Exactly, JWC Reviews. I still think I have the installation files for the Doctor Who adventure games, says PD Rich. Yeah, I mean, as I said, the article is spot on, though. They've been kind of hit and miss with their games, haven't they? Mostly miss. I've even tried one or two of them myself. It's just, they haven't made a decent Doctor Who game. Let's be honest about it. Maybe under RTD, if the show can reach certain heights and then it's popular again, then maybe we might actually get a decent game. But if Fortnite want to do a collab, absolutely. But I would not be connecting it to this last episode, because you don't even know what the reaction is going to be to this last episode. So it seems rather a bit of a gamble to actually base it off something that you don't know what the audience reaction is going to be. And if we go by what we've seen so far, what's taken 5 years, we haven't been impressed. So by all means, include our skin if you want to. I'm not saying you should exclude our skin. Include our skin if you want to, but give players the option of trying to get the other skins because it'll be a miscalculation if you just focus on Whitaker. But again, another thing as well, though, this will open up the debate because if anybody that does play Fortnite, well, the doctor, whoever you play as, if you do get the doctor skins, well, then you're going to be going around with a gun shooting people, and you have an axe as well, or your pickaxe, whatever it is. So you're going to be going around clocking people as well. So I don't know, would BBC allow that because the doctor, as we all know, doesn't like to use guns. JWC Review says there used to be a game on the BBC website which was basically Risk with the Daleks versus Cybermen. It was good. PD Rich asks, did anyone play Doctor Who the Eternity Clock? I think we're all just glad this era is finally coming to an end. Look, we all knew the date was the 23rd, right? The BBC, Chris Chibnall, or whoever was behind this schedule, and they're all idiots, right? We knew the date. We all knew it was going to happen. But here's the weird thing. I just will say this, though. She's not appeared on Graham Norton 2 nights before to promote this because the guest list is already out there. So, I mean, they're not even bothering. So that's what I said. Why should I bother reviewing the trailer? I know people have reviewed the trailer. Um, Seeing the trailer, he's ripping off loads of ideas as usual. Um, yeah, I just don't want to get into it. I'm busy with exams at the time, says Scottish Stavros and friends wrestle with pop culture. And JWC Reviews makes the point that I've made. The Doctor isn't violent. So in this game to work, so it's either maybe it is a Doctor Who crossover, but not the way we think. Maybe they're going to use Cybermen, maybe Sea Devils or something like that. People that can run around. I mean, Daleks can't run around, so I don't know how they do that with Dalek with a gun, unless, I mean, that would be deadly if they found a way of doing it. But it wouldn't make sense, right? And if it is the Doctor, well then, as I said, the Doctor is going to be shooting a gun. He's going to be using a pickaxe. So it's going to be interesting. And it'll be interesting to see how gamers react because we all know this about the Doctor. Like, well, I know it's only a game, but still, Doctor's going to be shooting people. Must be getting close to children in need. What are they going to do about that? Introduce Shooty. Well, they've already introduced Shooty, so I don't know what else they could do for children in need. But I don't know if anybody has actually seen the photograph that's floating about that apparently is the new logo for the 60th. Now, whether it's the new logo for Beyond, I would just say I hope it is. So basically it's the classic logo, right? But updated. And it looks absolutely fantastic. And if that's the logo to go forward with, I have to say I didn't like his 2005 logo. I made that clear. But if that's the new logo or if it's the logo for the 60th, oh my God, he's picked a brilliant. He's done absolutely fantastic. Whoever's behind it, absolutely brilliant. Um, and I just really hope it is. Jar and Jack Rabbit is not a fan of Fortnite. The entire thing is just game appropriation, and it basically steals characters from other franchises to stay relevant. Um, in fairness, you make a valid point, but in saying that though, Fortnite in its early days was actually a great game. It was actually a great game. That logo looks great. Exactly, it does. I don't know if I can actually show it on stream because I'd be afraid to, just in case it is and it hasn't been officially launched, but it is all over Twitter. Yeah, I played it in its early days though. It'd be great to have a classic updated logo. It would be a good mix of classic and new Who. I wasn't too fond of Matt's logo, but I always saw CEDT's logo as the phoenix rising from the flames, says PD Rich. 18th November is Children in Need. Shooty's first appearance as the Doctor. Why not? Hmm. Well, I mean, there's nothing stopping that from happening after this episode drops. I mean, it's full steam ahead. Remember, guys, we're less than what? We're 2 weeks, 2 weeks away, and this is over. And then it's RTD. There's no more focus on Chibnall. No more focus on Whitaker. They're gone. It'll be RTD2 all the way now. And I cannot wait. And don't be surprised. Listen, I've said it. Don't be surprised if the floodgates start opening after this episode drops. And when the dust settles over the next couple of days, there'll be bleeding stuff then. Right? Because remember, after this episode, the fandom is going to be in either way. It doesn't make a difference. This fandom, either way, is going to be an uproar. Right? So they're going to need to do something to kind of quell all of that, because there's going to be fans, whether we like it or not, there's going to be fans devastated that she's gone, right? There's genuine people that didn't engage in any of the bullying and all of that, and they're going to be mourning the loss of their Doctor, right? Then there's going to be obviously the Tasman fans, and they're waiting to see how that's resolved, and they don't get the resolution that they want, which they're not anyway, because Whitaker's Doctor is going to die anyway. But they're going to be in uproar, right? Because they're going to finally get it that Chibs is being disrespectful about the whole thing, the whole Tasman thing, right? Remember, wanted to play around with it was his exact words, right? And then you're going to have the side of the fandom, which we all know about, are the ones that are not going to come back unless the timeless child is retconned. And if that doesn't happen, they're going to be in uproar. Then you're going to have the fans that, if the timeless child does get retconned, they're obviously going to be upset. So either way, this fandom, at the end of the centenary special, when it's over, is going to be in an awful state. So RTD is going to have to do something to kind of soften the blow for everybody. So expect stuff to come out. Well, look, I've been saying that JW, everybody will back me up on this, right? I'll put up your comment because this is relevant to what I've been saying since last year. Even right, but this is what I said. I said that this whole 60th anniversary thing, the fact that it was filmed at the time it was filmed at, just seemed a little bit off. The announcement of Shooty, the way it was done, just seemed a little bit like everything was already in place and they just needed to make announcements. I've said this. I reckon this all because there was an article a few was it last year or was it a few months back? I think it was last year where they discussed that RTD was in discussions to get the Christmas slot back. And I've been very, very, very vocal on this, and I've actually said that RTD's era will begin actually this year, Christmas this year. I reckon this 60th thing that he's filming is a multi-story as we know, and I think it's going to kick off Christmas Day and it will end on the actual anniversary. I've said this consistently on this channel that that is a possibility. And I do believe that we will actually, because I think after this centenary drops and people see how bad, someone actually said to me on Twitter in a private message, and he says, "No, do you know what we saw there in that trailer? The best bits of the episode, the centenary." And that's what we've probably seen. We've seen the best bits of that episode in that trailer. Why has it taken so long to give us a trailer? Because it's probably that bad. Because Legend of the Sea Devils was criticized for being poorly edited. Right? This centenary is an hour and a half. Right? It's probably a pile of crap. And the trailer that you all saw was the best bits. So this fandom is going to be reeling either way, and RTD is going to need to do something, and that's why I firmly believe that RTD2 starts this year, Christmas Day. I've said it all along. I firmly believe it will happen because of the state the fandom is going to be in. So he needs to do something. And if it's not part of the 60th, he'll give us a festive special. Because why would they need to actually report and announce that RTD is trying to get back the Christmas slot if it's for next year? Makes no sense, man. Makes no sense. Why would they put that information out now? They wouldn't need to put that information out at all. They could keep that to themselves till bloody next year and then say, oh yeah, RTD is trying to get back the Christmas slot. And by the way, he is getting back the Christmas slot. They didn't need to say anything. We got Peter Harrington in the chat. Welcome. Real Super Doctor as well. Nice to see you, pal. Don't forget we have our watch alongs this week. So I'm pretty sure everybody will be back for the watch along. So that'll be great. The chat is jumping a bit. Just bear with me. It's not exactly going to be a smooth transition to the new series and the 60th. I agree, but he will need to do something. He needs to get interest flowing between now and Shooty. JWC reviews. I agree. He has to hit the ground running here. In fairness, Jack, I know you have those opinions, but I have to be honest. He was controversial back in 2005. You've got to listen. I said this to fans at the beginning when he was announced, when some fans had feelings like that. You need to go back and watch RTD's interviews when he's talking about Doctor Who, and even look at his interviews after he left Doctor Who and the way he speaks about Doctor Who. He knows that he can't write Doctor Who like it's a sin and years and years. right? Because he's already said it. Doctor Who is one of the most difficult shows to write for. You've got to get the balance right, right? The man understands Doctor Who. Look at his forced era. That's your evidence right there. Forced era. He's even said that doing shows like It's a Sin and years, he was able to get those stories out of his system. So everybody's just assuming because yes, he hasn't helped the situation. I said it. As soon as he opened his mouth about politics, he was leaving himself open to be accused of being woke and all of this. But he's always been woke. Anyway, I'm watching his forced era. His forced era is woke. The difference is the writing is absolutely superb. You can see that he understands the characters that he's writing and he understands Doctor Who. I just think everybody needs to wait and see what he does first. Everybody's just assuming a lot of things because of the castings right now. But RTD has always been very progressive with his casting. You just have to look at his first era, as I said, and it's always worked out. So I don't think people should be too worried yet. And JWC, Christmas, Easter, and anniversary specials. That's exactly what I said, mate. The timeline. I said Christmas, Easter, and then obviously, isn't there 3 or 4 being written? So you'd have one maybe the week before the anniversary, and then one on the actual anniversary itself, or maybe show the two-parter on the same night or whatever. But we actually agree. Yeah, we didn't see her regenerate. That's the only bit I want to see. I know. I mean, that end of that trailer was fucking ridiculous, wasn't it? She had some energy around her, and she go, "Yes, yes." Maybe that was Yaz being killed. The 23rd of November would be a nice touch to drop the logo and some goodies, says Peter. The trailer looked cringed. Well, listen, that's exactly what I wrote up on Twitter. I'm not saying any more about it. I don't want it. The shit that used to come out of RTD's mouth from 2005 and 2012 was insane. Exactly. And he still managed to write good Doctor Who. And my biggest worry is the whole gay characters by gay actors coming. So the Doctor is gay now. Well, you don't know that because it hasn't been officially confirmed. Um, I know Neil Patrick Harris made comments on that podcast, and I listened to that podcast because I wanted to actually hear what he said, and I think it's been misrepresented. I think what he meant was he's the first gay man to play the Doctor. I don't think he actually meant that the Doctor is gay. Um, and even if the Doctor was, though, what how would that affect the story? I don't know. I just look, we just have to wait and see. Nobody knows what's gonna happen. Well, here, I mean, this is a sad comment, but it's a comment that we've seen over the last 5 years, and this is the state of the fandom is in, and this is the job that RTD actually has. I'm considering just tuning in for the 60th stuff and then moving away from Doctor Who after that to close a chapter. I don't think I can take another 5 years of harassment. And that's what the current era has done. The casting was essential for me. I'm sorry I'm not that excited, but I'm still going to wait and see, like you said. That's the best thing to do. Look, everybody will know where we stand soon enough. It needs a whole new rebuild. This era has really sunk it. I can only hope and wait. I know you love the show so much. I know. We got Mr. Jackal and Hyde in the chat. Just popped in to say hello. Hello, nice to see you. Nice to see you. The trailer seems more about visual effects than storyline. That's what it looked like to me. I'm not saying they're compromising the character. They wouldn't be compromising the character. I don't know what his sexuality. See, this is the thing. I've said this from the beginning anyway. I mean, right. So even if he was a gay doctor, right, let's just say, right, but if the stories are well written and they don't focus on that and they just focus on him being the doctor, what would be the problem? That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying you're wrong. Nobody's right or wrong in this situation. Everybody has their beliefs. I do believe that the doctor shouldn't be in a relationship with anybody, and we shouldn't really be focusing on his sexuality. Or in this case, because it's a female doctor now, we're focusing on her sexuality with her companion. Like I don't think that should be the focus. But unfortunately, we're living in an age and we're living in a society and we're living in a world where this does seem to be a thing. It's everywhere. Nobody knows what the doctor's sexuality is going to be because it hasn't been officially confirmed. Neil Patrick Harris hasn't actually done anybody any favors anyway. Um, because apparently Shooty hasn't officially come out either. So if that's the case, then Neil Patrick Harris is outed Shooty. The Doctor is asexual and should remain that, and it should be about the stories. Look, I do agree with. Look, I'm agreeing with you, but I'm just saying, in the modern era of TV, unfortunately, they'd rather focus on those sort of things than focus on writing stories. This is why these characters never develop. This is why these stories never really go anywhere, and why people have a lot of complaints because they focus on the wrong things. Nobody's saying that you can't have actors and actresses and from the LGBTQ plus community. But when you just focus on that and you don't focus on developing their characters and giving them good stories so people can get behind those characters, well then you've already lost. You've already lost. This is why this Tasman thing is a shambles because it wasn't properly developed. It doesn't matter what the Tassie say about in Series 1, Series 2, and Series 3 that there were little indications and little blah blah blah. But Chris Chibnall has already admitted that they never had any plans for it. And then right at the end for the last season, they wanted to play around with it. So it was never a plan, right? The original plan was that Yaz was going to fall in love with Ryan Sinclair. If you look at the very first season, there's actually chemistry between the two of them, but they ignore that. They ignore the fact that she was actually going to be in a relationship with Ryan because they're so consumed by this modern ideology and how they want their characters to be done that they don't care that the storyline or their way of having the character to go goes against the way the character has been presented. And they do this time and time again. Exactly. Doctor Who should be just sci-fi. I'm agreeing with you all. All I'm just saying, we're living. We'll just have to wait and see what he does. There's nothing we can do. There's nothing we can do, and we have to wait and see. And look, if Doctor Who is not everybody's cup of tea, well, then people will just walk away, won't they? And we won't have to moan about it and complain about it anymore. If it's not enjoyable anymore, there's no point. So, because I'm not doing, listen, I'm not gonna be ranting here for another 5 years about it if it ends up being crap again. But as PD said there, only time will tell. And that's it. We just have to wait and see and hope. But if I'm going by previous interviews that he's done, even when he's not wasn't showrunner, and you hear the way he talks about Doctor Who, he understands that Doctor Who isn't like other shows that he's written. He has to be. He has to toe a line. Now he may bend it a bit, but we won't know. None of us will know. I'm just going, but I'm just going off the past and what he's done before, and all the interviews that I've listened to, the way he speaks about Doctor Who. You know, he always considered the Doctor a man, even when Jodie was in the role. He did an interview. It's on YouTube, BBC's Writers' Room. He's there when he's talking about the Doctor, he's referring to the Doctor as a man, and listen to the way he's talking about the Doctor there. And that's probably that was probably the most recent one video that we got of him talking about Doctor Who. And then obviously It's a Sin, years and years dropped. And then obviously, you know, people always go back to Doctor Who with him. And again, the way he spoke about Doctor Who. So that's why I'm more optimistic than most people. Because I have watched the interviews and I have listened to what he said. And listen, as I said, you know, my biggest wish for him was when he came back that he actually kept his mouth shut, didn't talk about politics and just got on with the job. But unfortunately, he decided to do that. And it hasn't helped the situation. I will admit it hasn't helped. A lot of fans have then, you know, taken a step back and they're not as optimistic as they were. Right? That was my biggest fear that he'd go and do that. But just because he's doing that, it doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to start writing bad Doctor Who. You don't become a bad writer overnight. I think he understands this show. He's a fan. Remember that. We should remember that he is a fan. So if he's a fan, which we all know he is, then he knows exactly what this fandom has been going through the last 5 years. He's not oblivious to it. He's not oblivious to it. He knows how this show has suffered and how the fans have suffered. He wouldn't be back otherwise. Remember, this is a man that said he'd never come back to Doctor Who unless the show really needed him. He said that. That's a quote from him. He would not go back to Doctor Who unless the show needed him. And he's back. So, the others can be in denial all they want. So, obviously, the show needed him. Someone needed him to come back. So, without actually admitting it, BBC, they've actually admitted it because of that quote that he said, that statement that he made. He'd only come back if the show needed him. Look, again, you know, Jack, we can keep talking about this is this vicious cycle that we're in, right? We got RTD, he says his things, and then we have people that fire back, and both sides have become as bad as each other now. Um, at the end of the day, I'm going to judge him on his writing for Doctor Who. Um, should he be saying the things that he's saying? I honestly believe he should have just kept his mouth to himself and just got on with it with Doctor Who. But unfortunately, he hasn't done that, right? But at the end of the day, I'm here to judge him on his writing, not his personal beliefs and his political beliefs. And this is what's happened in fandom now, and it's happening in society. We're judging people by their political beliefs and what they say, rather than judging them on their work. Especially actors and actors and actresses. We focus on that instead of focusing on their work. We mightn't agree. Look at Leonardo DiCaprio is a big climate change nut, but I can separate that when I'm watching these movies because he's a great actor. You don't win Oscars for being a shit actor. He's won. Listen, I think he should have won an Oscar way before he won an Oscar. Leo's a fucking legend. Great actor, but he's an ego warrior. But I can separate the two because he's brilliant at his craft. And it's going to be the same with RTD. I could separate the two because he's brilliant at his craft. And he has proven to me before that when he was in charge of Doctor Who, he made it popular again. He gave fans like me a chance to come out and tell the world, yeah, we are Doctor Who fans. It was no longer embarrassing to be a Doctor Who fan. So, yeah, for me, I think he deserves to be given a chance because he's earned it. He's earned it. He gave us back our show. He made the show respectable in the eyes of people out there that used to laugh at the show. We were able to proudly say we were Doctor Who fans and say it loud and proud. And to be proud of our show, that our show was punching above and it always has been punching. That's the thing. The show's always been punching above its weight and has always, well, not always, but the majority of the time it's delivered. And why? Because the people behind the scenes, the people that were writing the scripts, the people that were coming up with the stories, and this is not just new Who, this is classic Who too. They had a genuine love and care for the show. And I do believe that RTD shares that love for the show. He gave us a voice. He gave us a show that we could be proud of. Yeah, it wasn't classic Who. It was a new iteration, why it's given the name New Who. But it was very good. We got behind it. We supported it. We all had our favourite New Who doctors. We all have our favourite stories. We all agree on some of the greatest stories in New Who, and maybe not some of those so great episodes. And then all in between, then there's all those personal favourite episodes that everybody has. This is what we need to do. This is not me giving out to anybody, by the way. This is me just trying to say to everybody that, you know, as I said, we're living in a society where we seem to judge people on their political beliefs and what they say, right? And especially when it comes to actors and actresses. And sometimes It's hard sometimes to do. I'm not going to say it's easy all the time, but you have to separate the artist from the individual. And that's what I'm doing here with RTD, and I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. And the reason why I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt, and I'll gladly say why I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt, because his first era showed me, he gave us back a show that we could all be proud of. Jesus, I think he does deserve the benefit of the doubt. And look, if it goes all tits up and pear shaped, then so be it. And of course, I'll come on and I'll say, okay, you were all right. I was wrong. I'm disappointed. But as I've said many times, we don't know anything yet. We haven't seen a script. We don't know what he's going to do with Series 14. We've seen a little brief look at what he's going to do with the 60th, and it looks spectacular from what we've seen. And to me, even some of the fan video that we've seen of aliens and stuff like that, well, it looks to me he's focusing on aliens and he's focusing on stuff that he knows Doctor Who fans will like. Plenty of explosions as well. Look, you're right. Look, I get it. Look, absolutely, I get it. Everybody's on tender hooks here. Everybody is willing this to succeed so much that, that they are afraid that it'll go the other way and they'll be devastated. And I get that. I really do get that. But I think everybody just needs to take a step back. Relax. Just relax. Calm down. Wait and see what happens. Right? That's the time to be getting worried about this. Listen, we'll even know before, right? Because we got an indication during the Jodie Whittaker era, right? When she was doing all the interviews and all the other stuff, we knew how bad it was going to get, right? So we're all very clever. We'll figure out soon enough and quick enough if RTD is going to respect Doctor Who, or he's going to use it as Kurtzman said about Trek. Well, Trek is there to be used as a platform, and if RTD has that attitude, well then obviously the show is done for. But there is a chance that he will do the opposite, and he'll actually write a great sci-fi show. We're all speculating right now, and including me. But as I said, I'm using the past and the interviews that I've seen from him, and I'm able to separate what he said. Listen, I knew as soon as he opened his mouth that this was going to have a negative effect on some people. And this is why I wish he had kept his mouth closed. So again, while I'm saying all this, I don't blame the reaction that some of you have. All I'm just saying is that just take a step back and wait and see what happens. We're worrying about stuff that hasn't even happened yet. And I know some of you have lost faith in RTD because of the things that he has said. But I would say try give him the benefit of the doubt for now. Let's see what he does. You never know, man. We might be sitting here with smiles on our faces again. And you've got to take it. As I said, I can understand why people are less optimistic. But I would say just remember what he did first time round. Go and watch, just write in, even on YouTube, RTD Talks Doctor Who, right? Go and listen to everything that he says in as many interviews as you can watch. Seriously, I think it will make a difference because once you hear the man himself, the way he talks about it, I think he will do right by this show. I think he knows that he has to. It's last chance saloon. This is as big as 2005. If you think the pressure on him, and he even admits that he was under pressure. If everybody thinks that he's not going to be under any pressure because he succeeded first time round, well, he's going into the pits of hell right now. You've got a fandom that's disjointed and fractured beyond repair. You've got a shows whose ratings have completely canned. No matter what the other side say, they can say whatever they want, right? The ratings are down, right? End of story, right? Okay, nobody is interested. BBC have proven also that they don't give a crap about this centenary special because we're 2 weeks away and they decide to drop a trailer, right? But they've done nothing else but one or two promo photos over the last few. But where's all the promotion for this? Where's it been? This is supposed to be a huge event, a doctor regenerating, and they haven't gave two craps about it. So the pressure that RTD is under, as Daniel has just said, that's the point I was going to make. In 2005, it was nothing compared to what he's going into now. This is a pressure cooker. He has to get things right. One mess up and it's game over. There is no error. There's no room for error. That's the thing. There's no room for maneuver. Come here, Ted. Hold on, guys. He wants to get up on his little bed. Come here. Oh, there you go, buddy. Yeah. There is no room for error. And I think he understands this. And I think he understands it more than anybody else. Look, RTD is going to say what RTD wants to say. And there's nothing we can do to stop that. So it's either we keep arguing about the fact that he keeps opening his mouth, or we just wait and see what he does with Doctor Who, and then obviously then if people are proven right and he's just as bad as Chris Chibnall, then these are all justified in all the comments that she's made. But nobody knows that, and so we just need to wait and see. That's all I'm just trying to say to people. It's just take a step back and wait and see. People are getting worried and upset over stuff that hasn't even happened yet. Or stuff that mightn't even happen. So that's where I stand on it anyway. So yeah, I'm just gonna wait and see. You better not let me down. Because I'll be gutted myself. I'll be gutted myself. I mean, we gave Jodie Whittaker's there a full look. We watched all the way through. Nobody can accuse us of not watching. We watched. And if I'm willing to sit there for 5 years and go through 3 series, well, I'm willing to give RTD a bleeding chance. Trust me. Any Doctor Who fan that has watched this era from start to finish deserves a bleeding medal, right? Deserves a bleeding medal for getting through it. Okay? That's how bad it's been. So if I'm willing to go through all of that, then I'm willing to bleed and go through, see what RTD delivers. Thanks, Noel. I agree with you. Best is to just hope for the best for now. That's it, man. And look, I'm not trying to change your opinions or change your mind. As I said, I've always said this from the beginning. I'm not going to lie, it does get a bit frustrating hearing it all the time, but it's not from you, it's from other people. But the thing about it is, I can understand it. But at the same time, all I'm just trying to say to people is, well, look, there's a lot of unknowns here, and a lot of everybody is just speculating right now. An OBELOL. Yeah, I watched it all. That's the thing. All of these Jodie Whittaker fans calling me out saying I'm not a Doctor Who fan. And I watched the whole era. Every single one, including all the specials. Watched every single bit of it. And yet somehow I'm not a fan because I didn't like a female doctor. Listen, the only reason why I watched this because I was a Doctor Who fan, right? Because the IP itself, the brand Doctor Who, is what I love, right? So we have a saying, you support things in the good times and the bad times. Of course, a lot of you Whitaker fans or J bots, the ones that harass people, were saying that if RTD cast the bloke, yous were gone. Yous were gone. So yous aren't fans, yous were never fans. Yous are gonna stick around now because he hired a black person because you don't want to come across as racist now because you've been thrown that accusation at fans for the last 5 years. Racist, sexist, and I don't know how you're racist, but there you go. Racist, sexist, and homophobes, and all of this other rubbish. Right, but you have to stick around now, don't you? Because you don't want to be classed as the racist because, we cast another straight white male. I'm gone. I'm leaving. I'm no longer watching Doctor Who. Well, he's only jumped in with Jodie, okay? So you can walk, you can go. You can go. A lot of you only jumped in when she became the doctor, right? A lot of you said at the beginning you were going to go as soon as she left, right? They've dragged it on for 5 years, so you can leave now. Nobody cares whether you go or not anyway. At this stage, nobody gives two craps because as soon as the new era starts, anyways, you will be ignored. You will be ignored. Nobody's going to listen to you as nonsense anymore. You don't have any power or hold over this fandom anymore. Our precious doctor is gone, and the showrunner who wrote her terribly and disrespected the LGBTQ plus community is leaving. And when this era does finally end, and there are a couple of magazines that have had the balls to actually come out and call out Chibnall for what he is, but when all the dust settles and there's a couple of years gone by, everything that I've said about Chibnall will be spoke about in the press. He spoke about in the press, right? He was not a good showrunner for this show, and I would actually argue that he did a lot of damage for women's rights and LGBTQ plus rights in the Doctor Who fandom for the way he has done certain things. He's an absolute disgrace, and his era is a shambles. And his female doctor was weak. But we are coming to the end, and we will sign off this era, and then I'm done with it. I'm done with it. Anyway, I think I've said all I needed to say, but we'll see what what RTD delivers for the specials. But I'm still excited. I'm not gonna lie. I am because as I said, this nightmare is finally over, and for me, I do see a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. So fingers crossed he delivers and doesn't let us down because yeah, I am like the rest of you, so I won't be able to carry on reviewing this show. How could you? It's not Doctor Who or unrecognizable. Be no point. But I hope it's given a fair shake. I hope it's given a fair shake because I know as soon as there is any little woke elements in it, they're gonna be they're gonna be blown out of proportion, like we see with some shows, blown out of proportion and just constantly people just highlighting that it rather than just focusing on, well, do they actually tell a good story here? And this is another thing that seems to be gone awry over the last couple of years is that people just hyper focus on the woke elements, but don't actually tell you, well, is the story actually good though? Are the characters actually developed? You know, and that does seem to be the missing. Uh, Chibnall mask for Halloween. Halloween, anybody? Oh Jesus Christ! You don't want to scare the kids off, do you? Jesus, never thought we'd get a worse showrunner. Then, well, I wouldn't even go as far as to say that JNT was a bad showrunner. I mean, he made a lot of decisions that, let's just say, fans didn't agree with, but he did care. That's the thing. JNT cared about the show. Nobody can deny that. He actually cared about the show. This fella didn't care two shits, man. You see that early video of him? He was an arrogant, right, snot nosed, uppity little fecker, right? Just like some of the fans that we have in this fandom, right? I would go as far as to say that he was the first Not My Doctor, the original Not My Doctor, right? That's the ironic thing about it. This man was the first Not My Doctor because he hated what they did with the show. He hated what they did with the show. Then what did he do? Just like a lot of the generation today, they get themselves in positions of power, which we've seen over these last few years in Hollywood and different studios out there. And that's exactly what Chris Chibnall did. He is the original. He worked his way up until he thought the time was right to take this show over. And then what did he do? He made it everything that he believed. Basically, what he did is he remembered all the things that he thought was wrong with Doctor Who, and he thought he could fix it. Who the hell does he think he is? This is what we said about him for the last. Who the hell does he think he is? That he can come in and change things that he doesn't like, right? Where about the rest of the fandom, there, chibbies? And that was the thing, he never cared about the fans. He only cared about the crap that he wanted to fix, and now he's made a bigger balls of it. Anyway, we've only got 2 weeks. Well, it's less now because it's on Sunday, isn't it? Not this Sunday coming, because we're just new week now. Sunday after, we'll be all sitting here, hopefully, and watching this final an hour and a half. Oh man, I can't believe I have to sit through this for an hour and a half. And then we'll have a panel that will probably run for about 2 hours as well, because obviously it's going to get, those panels get very rowdy as well. And then I've got the members one, and I'm thinking if it goes on a bit too late, I might leave the members one until the day after, to give everybody a bit of a bleeding breather, and then the ones that are members then can get to see and hear my opinions on the episode. Because for the panel, we'll be trying to get as many people on the panel as we can. We can have 10 people on the panel, that's including myself. So we're going to try get as many people on and give everybody a chance to talk. We'll bring people on one by one. This is how I'm going to do it anyway. We'll have everybody in the studio waiting, and then I'll bring each guest on to give their initial. Stop it, Ted. We'll give each guest a chance to give their initial opinion, right? And then what we'll do then is then well, all hell will break loose when everybody's on the panel then, because then someone will make a point and then someone will want to add to that point, and before you know it becomes this big mad thing. So yeah, come and join us, because we always get over 1,000 views for them, because the Whitaker fans like to know what we have to say about the episode, because I live in their brains, their heads, rent free for this past 5 years. I should start charging rent now at this stage. So yeah, that'll be that. So look, we're gonna wrap it up for now. But what you call it? Interesting time ahead. So as I said, we'll be focusing on other things that are happening in Doctor Who. So if there's any other stories that we need to speak about or talk about, we will. Because as I said, we won't be focusing on this centenary until we have to, which is the night of the episode dropping. So yeah, there's a couple of other stories out there that I'll take a look at and we'll discuss, and obviously there'll be future stuff as well. Don't forget to join us on a Wednesday night anyway, from 6 onwards. I've put it back to the original time, so members stream RTD era 6 o'clock, and then non-member stream 7 o'clock on Wednesday. We were supposed to do Noel Clarke's second movie yesterday, but I've had a bit of a toothache, and I completely forgot about it because my brain is muddled. I ended up playing FIFA instead of doing the bleeding movie. So we will squeeze the movie in this week as well. I'll let Lee know, because obviously he's joining me for that. But we will have that movie on this week at some stage. And then obviously the Sunday after then. No, this Sunday then we will have the last movie, because next Sunday, obviously, we're going to be concentrating on this centenary special. So yeah, if you want to be part of that panel, we'll have the normal panel. But if you want to be part of that panel for the centenary review, send me a DM. If you want to be part of the panel for the watch along, let me know. Now, I have actually requested that people, because I want people to see people's live reaction. So, like, that's the time I come on camera, and I will be encouraging me guests to come on camera, because I want people to see people's reaction while watching it, because it's the reaction that people at certain scenes that people love. So if you want to come on and you're brave enough to be on camera that night, let me know, and I'll bring you on as part of that panel, and then it'll be me then for the members stream, just myself and obviously you guys in the chat, and we will be discussing my views of the episode. I'll be taking notes. I can tell you that. So yeah, look out for that. So there's plenty to come, especially when this episode drops. Plenty to talk about. And then, as we said, and we always wrap it up, right? And as it's the final episode of the era, what we normally do then is that, right, we do the panel, that the watch along the panel, then obviously I'll be doing my member stream, but then the week that week then, right, the next week, because it'll drop on the Sunday, so that week then, probably midweek, we'll be doing a Tardis Zone Talk special, and that's where the rest of you guys that are in the chat that want to come on for a couple of minutes or whatever and give your opinion on what you saw, and then that's it. That's a wrap. It'll be done, dusted, and we will be never talking about that doctor and that era again, because there's no point. It's done. There'll be no point of arguing about it and keep harping on about what Chips did and what Jody did. Once it's done, it's done. There's no point to keep talking about it. So I'll be done talking about it. It'll be done, and I'll be focused solely on RTD2. And I don't care about the articles that come out about the centenary after the fact either, right? You know, I don't want to focus on that. My focus will be on RTD2. I'm done. I'm doing what I'm doing is I'm doing the bare minimum that we can do on this centenary. We're not doing all the stuff that we used to do because I'm just not bothered anymore. Right? Just not bothered. The Legend of the Sea Devils, you know, even then I was still hoping he could give us something and surprise us. And again, he let me down. He let me down for Eva the Daleks as well. He let me down with Flux. He let me down with Series 12, and he let me down with Series 11. He's let me down too many times. And after Series 11, we should have all fecked off. We should have all fecked off, but we didn't, because we're Doctor Who fans and we stuck by it. But that's it, man. I'll do what I have to do, and then that's it. And there'll be plenty of other channels out there. You know, the guys that we talk to, right? There'll be plenty of those channels. They will probably cover the aftermath. We kind of will on the midweek stream, because people will obviously bring it up if they're talking, and articles will be brought up. So that'll be the only time during that midweek stream that we'll kind of just put a final stamp on the whole thing, and that'll be it. That'll be it. We move on then. Full steam ahead. RTD2. Can't wait. Can't wait. Right, I'm gonna leave it there anyway. So as I said, if you wanna join now, listen. Every time I say to people, you know, people tell me in the chat that they're interested in coming on, and then I tell them to send me a DM. I never get a DM. Right, so I'm just gonna make this clear, right, and I'm getting this out now, so because we got a good few people here, and people will listen to after the fact. So I want to make this clear so there are no confusions and there are no mix-ups on the night, right? If you turn up on the night and ask me to come on, you're going to be refused, okay? If you want to come on, you just have to tell me now. I need to put people down. I need to put people's names down on the list, okay? And there's a deadline, right? There's a deadline. So you will have until that Friday night, right? 2 days before the episode drops, to let me know if you want to be part of either the panel, the watch along. We're going to try and mix it up with the two and not have everybody on the same two. We mix it up a bit, get different opinions, okay? Obviously, we have the original members of the panel. They'll be coming on, and we'll add some guests to the original panel. Okay, just want to make that clear. So if you want to be, so there's already that's PD, that's Charlotte, that's Lee, myself, and Real Super Doctor. So there's 5 more spots available for the panel. And as far as I'm aware, so far there's myself and Lee doing the watch along. So I don't know if I don't know if Charlotte agreed to do it. If she does, that's 3, and that would leave 7 spaces left for that. So you just have to let me know, because if you turn up on the night and ask to come on, you're going to be disappointed. And I'm not going to be embarrassed like that, because it's happened far too many times when people have been told send me DM, then they come in and think that I'm just going to bring them on. That's not how it's going to work, man. Okay, so if you want to be part of it, you send me a DM, and if you can't send me a DM, send me an email, and then let me know that you've sent me an email, because I'm very bad with emails. Right? Or if you can't get through to me and you know someone that can, then let them know that you're interested, to tell me that you're interested, so I can organize, put your name down on the list. And that's it, right? Because I don't want to, I'm not going to let anybody down, but at the same time, I'm not going to be, because we've had too many incidents where, I've made it clear that people can't just turn up and expect to be brought on the panel. You know what I mean? And then I've had to and then I've been publicly embarrassed as well about it. So if you want to be part of it, you just got to send me that DM. Or as I said, get in touch with me. Or in the comment section here, because I do look at the comment section, right? So write your name in the comment section if you're interested. No, you're not bad. You're not bad with email. You're average. I'm shockingly bad. Even when I'm expecting a reply. Oh, mate, I hardly touch me email unless I get a bleed notification off YouTube, and then I end up checking the email. Which kind of, okay, you probably have a point there, because that kind of happens a lot now lately. So yeah, okay. So once we got the parameters there, so I've made it clear what's going to happen. So if you want to be part of it, you know what to do to get involved. And it'll be fascinating to see what people have to say. And obviously, we'll all have to be on our best behavior as well. Because remember, you're coming onto this channel. You have to be careful what you actually say, because it can affect our little community here as well. So there will be guidelines before you come on that night. Keep the language down. Don't say certain words. The usual. So you all know this by now. We know how YouTube runs. And listen, this is not me, man. You know me, right? If I could not that I'd let anybody run riot, I'd rein people in if they were being racist pieces of crap and all that hate speech crap. I can't tolerate that. But if people are just giving their opinions, I'm fine with that. But some people can lose the run of themselves. And just remember, it can affect this little community that we've all built up. Not just me, we've all built this up together. So we don't want that to affect that. So everybody, including myself, will have to be on their best behavior. It is the last episode, and it will be under the microscope. And I do believe that we've always had the best interests of the show. That's been our main thing. This is why we've been so vocal. I never played Fortnite, just not for me, says Tardis time. Yeah, so for anybody that it has popped in late and is wondering what's been going on, well, obviously, as we always do on this, we always talk about other stuff. I should actually just put up the topic of conversation and other things, because we end up talking about other things. But for anybody, yeah, Fortnite, Doctor Who crossover apparently is in early stages of development. Apparently, it's to coincide with the Power of the Doctor. But the power that makes no sense, because Power of the Doctor drops in 2 weeks. But if it does incorporate that somehow, I think it's a big mistake. I gave my opinion on it. You can go back and watch the start of the video. So that's basically just the kind of the gist of it all. As I play the game, I thought it'd be a very interesting topic of conversation, because obviously I said I don't want to focus on the other disaster or train wreck that just dropped until the episode itself drops. So yeah. So as I said, there's DM me or send me an email. Right, some of you have me email. Some of you follow me on Messenger. And if you can't get me on any of them, then leave a comment, put your name forward, say you'd like to be available for which one, panel or watch along. and yeah, we'll put your name down. Okay? Right, listen, we're going to leave it there. I will be over on the gaming channel soon. I'm going to get something to eat and stuff first. Cook the missus our dinner as well. She's having she's having a nap. So I'm going to go in now and cook our chicken. She's having chicken. I'm having, actually, I don't know what I'm having. Um, I have a bit of black pudding there, rashers, sausages, and eggs. So I might have an old fry up. I might. I had a fry up yesterday, so I don't know if I want another fry up today. But the great thing about fries is you can eat them. You don't get sick of them. I certainly don't, anyway. Um, and yeah, I don't want to start talking about food because it'll get into a McDonald's and Burger King talk again, like we did the last time, and I can't do that. But yeah. So yeah, I might have an old no fry up. I made a trifle the other day as well. I actually have the ingredients to make another trifle, so I might do a little short video, a couple of YouTube shorts, maybe during the week, showing you be prepping and putting together this trifle. Uh, Something bit of fun. Anyway, yeah. So it's a Jody skin they want us to use on Fortnite, not any of the earlier ones. No, David Tennant's name was mentioned as well. David Tennant's was mentioned as well. So it's not just Jody. So obviously, look, we all kind of know as well. BBC a bit stupid, but we all kind of know that Jody. It's obviously not a regeneration. It must be a degeneration. Um, and somehow Fortnite. Well, they've said that he's part of it as well. So there you go. That's the first clue that David Tennant and Whitaker, that something's going to happen in that episode. It's that part of it is going to be interesting. That's the part that I'm actually interested in. Is the regeneration. It's not just to see our go, right? Obviously, that's a big part of it. But the part for me is how this is going to be handled. How this is going to be handled. And here's the question we have to ask ourselves as well that nobody has asked actually. Who's done the regeneration scene? Because remember when Moffat and Capaldi were leaving, right? The regeneration scene, obviously Moffat did the Peter scene and the Jodie Whittaker stuff was written by Chibs apparently. So who's writing? Who's gonna be writing? Who's gonna be doing? It'll be interesting to see. I wouldn't be even surprised if RTD has handled this whole regeneration scene himself. Obviously, he wouldn't get credit for it because, it's Chris Chibnall's last story. But I wouldn't be surprised that he's fecked up so much that they get say, "Here, listen, you sort out this regeneration nonsense or degenerate or whatever you're gonna bleed and do." But that part, I'll just will mention one part because this is how I know this is going to be cringe, right? But there was a scene where the train is gone around. By the way, robbed off the Orient of the Mummy Express, that one, right? The Mummy one, right? Robbed it off Moffat, but we won't say that. Shh, right? But the part where they land on the train and she goes, "That was a 9 point, whatever it was, that stupid line," and the way she delivered it. This is how we know we're in for a shit show. By the way, I did say something up on Twitter very quickly. That train looks like the train. Now, I could be wrong, but to me, that looked like the train out of the woman who fell to earth. And maybe she's gone through her own timeline and she needs to do something. I don't know, but who gives a shit anyway? See, he's got me. Oh, I'm talking about it. Anyway, I'm going now before I talk about it any further. So listen, enjoy our evening. For anybody that's following me over on my other channel, I will be doing a FIFA 23 stream. We do a couple of them over there. So go and follow me. We're on legendary mode now. We did play on world class and we won everything. So we're up a level and it's a lot harder. So go and watch me play that and have a meltdown or two. I'm only messing. I don't have a meltdown anymore. Oh, Jesus Christ, Daniel, don't even go there. It's going to drag. Listen, this is going to be worse than the David Tennant one. This is going to be. I wouldn't be surprised you go, why me? Giving it loads. Why? What did I do to deserve this? I'm the best as ever. Why am I Why am I regenerating? Oh, I can't wait. I can't. I really can't. Money Method. You can hear the excitement in my voice. I really can't wait. Jesus Christ, it's going to be a nightmare. Anyway, we'll give it a go. Look. All joking aside, if Chris Chibnall manages a miracle and delivers one and actually gives us an episode that's half decent, right? Then hats off to him. But it's still 5 years too late, right? That's the way it'll always be. And then we'll question, well, why didn't you do that in the first place? Right? It doesn't matter. It's too late either way. Whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, it's too late. He's gone anyway. Anyway, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Right. I shall talk to you soon. Enjoy the rest of your day or afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Stay safe and look after yourselves. And listen, there's a lot of shit going on in the world right now. And there's a lot of people out there that want to be negative, and there's a lot of people out there that seem to be, you know, jumping at the prospect that there might be a nuclear war, or they're dog whistling for one, right? Remember, folks, right? These people are on Twitter. It's not the real world, right? The rest of the real world is kind of same. It's not going to come to that. But even if it does, listen, we'll prevail. We always do, you know. So try not to worry. Try not to worry. Remember, hug your loved ones. Keep people around you that make you happy. Enjoy your life. Don't be held back by anything that's going on. That's the worst thing you can do. Just get on with it. And what happens, happens. End the story. That's just the way my attitude is with life now. Whatever happens, happens. You know. But I always believe that when push comes to shove, we do the right thing. And I think we have, well, I hope we've learned from the last two world wars. But look, as I said, I'm just going to continue to live my life and not worry about that. And have all you guys tune in and have a laugh, which is that's what we're all about. That's what we're all about. So listen, have a good day. Um, good evening wherever you are in the world. Stay safe, and I will see you very, very soon. Have a good one. Bye.